A very warm welcome to all my dear 6th standard children. I am Nirmala. I am going to handle your biology subject, right. So, now let us see the 4th chapter. So, what is your 4th chapter? The 4th chapter is about digestive system. Yes, of course, right. Now, tell me children, why do we need a digestive system? Yes, of course. So, all animals need food to live, to survive, right, and to grow and function properly, isn't it? Yes. So, the food that we eat is in the form of solid, right. So, this solid cannot be absorbed easily into our body cells, right. So, the food has to be broken down into smaller particles. So, our digestive system has two basic jobs to do with the food. The first job is that it breaks down the food particles, the larger food particles, so that it is carried through the body, right. Yes. The second job, what is the second job? The second job of the digestive system is to transform the molecules of food into simpler molecules. We eat different kinds of food, isn't it? Yes. So, what are the food that we eat? So, we drink milk, yes, we eat fish, egg, potato, we eat rice, and of course, we eat some fatty foods and so on, right. So, these molecules need to be broken down into smaller particles, and thereby this digestive system, our digestive system ensures to digest the food, and also these digested food is absorbed into our body. So, through the body, that is through some structures in our body into the blood cells, that is into our blood, right. So, it mixes with the nutrients, or that is absorbed, the digested food is absorbed into our blood, right. So, we are going to listen, or you are going to understand about the digestive system. Yes. So, now let us see about digestive system. So, you all learned that the food contains a large number of substances called nutrients, right. So, what happens to the food after we eat? Yes, of course, the food and the nutrients or gets digested, or they go under a process of digestion, right. So, this process of digestion involves various steps. It involves in the for different steps, right. So, now let us see what are the steps in the digestive system. So, these are all the 5 steps that is involved in the process of digestion, right. So, the first step is ingestion. So, the first one is ingestion. What is ingestion? So, ingestion is the process. So, you can see the digestion. So, ingestion is the process where the food is taken by the organism, right. It may be human beings or animals, the food is taken through the mouth, right. So, this process is known as ingestion. Ingestion means the food that is taken by the organism is known as ingestion, right. So, next one is digestion. So, what is digestion? The food, the taken food, that is the ingested food, need to be broken down into simpler substances. So, the ingested food will have larger substances. So, these larger substances are broken down into smaller substances, right. So, this process is known as digestion. So, the next one, that is absorption. So, this is the third step in the process of digestion, right. So, what is absorption? So, absorption is the digested food gets absorbed into our bloodstream. So, that process is known as absorption, right. After absorption, assimilation. What is assimilation? So, the digested food that is absorbed in our bloodstream is incorporated into the living cells, that is incorporated into our body cells, and thereby it helps in proper usage. For example, it helps in growth and it gives us energy, all that. So, the utilization of the absorbed nutrients by our body. So, that is known as assimilation, right. So, the last step is digestion. What is digestion? The process by which the undigested food is removed from our body. So, that is known as digestion. So, totally there are 5 steps in the process of digestion, right. So, now let us see in detail. So, here you can see the digestive system. So, once the food is taken by our mouth, right. So, this is known as ingestion, and after that the food gets digested here. So, that process is known as digestion, breaking down of larger substances into smaller substances. Then the digested food is absorbed into our bloodstream. So, that is known as absorption, and after that the absorbed food is incorporated into the living cells, that is the cells in our body, and it helps in proper growth and development, right. So, that is known as assimilation, and the undigested food is removed from our body, that is known as digestion, right. So, these are the 5 steps in the process of digestion. Now, you can see this digestive process, right. So, this digestive process, it starts from the mouth till the anus. So, we can say this long coiled or long tubular structure, right. So, this is known as alimentary canal. So, what is this? Alimentary canal. So, what is this alimentary canal? So, alimentary canal is a long muscular tubular tube where it is coiled, it starts from mouth till the anus. So, this tube, this way is known as alimentary canal, and also we can see there are some organs that help in the alimentary canal, it helps in the digestive process. So, if you take salivary glands, liver and pancreas help in the process of digestive system, right. So, now let us see, right. So, first where the digestion starts? Yes. So, the mouth is the place where the digestion starts, right. So, you can see here the digestion starts from the mouth. So, you have mouth and a mouth cavity. So, the mouth cavity consists of teeth, tongue and salivary glands. So, you can see here mouth. So, the process of digestion starts in the mouth. So, the mouth has teeth, tongue and also salivary glands. So, the digestion starts in the mouth, starts here. Okay, how the digestion starts here? Let us see. So, inside the mouth cavity you can see the teeth, right. So, the teeth helps in chewing the food that we take inside, right. So, we can see here tongue also and teeth also inside the buccal cavity, that is inside our mouth cavity, right. So, we are going to discuss about the teeth in detail now. Okay. So, human beings have 2 sets of teeth. How many sets of teeth? 2 sets of teeth. So, one is known as milk teeth, this is known as milk teeth or temporary teeth, and the second set of teeth is known as permanent teeth, right. So, when a human child is about 6 months, so the first tooth in the below jaw starts to grow. So, after that when a child is about 6 years or 7 years, the child will have 20 teeth, right. So, this 20 teeth is known as milk teeth. So, milk teeth is the first set of teeth in a child is called milk teeth, right. So, after the 7 years of that age, the child one by one the teeth will fall off and new teeth will grow in that place. So, the second set of teeth in a child, in an adult, it is known as permanent teeth. So, there are nearly 32 permanent teeth 16 in the upper jaw and 16 in the lower jaw, right. And this teeth will not be in the same size or same shape. They vary in different sizes and different shapes. So, that is why there are 4 types of teeth. How many types of teeth? 4 types of teeth. So, first one is incisors. So, this is incisors. You can see here incisors. So, there are nearly 8 incisors. So, 4 in the upper jaw and 4 in the lower jaw. So, 8 incisors, 4 in the upper jaw and 4 in the lower jaw. So, this incisors will be broad and flat and sharp. They help in biting and cutting the food. The second one is canine. So, after the incisors, in the front you will have incisors in the upper jaw and in the lower jaw. After the incisors, you will have the canines on the both sides, okay, either in the upper jaw as well as in the lower jaw. So, totally you will have 4 canines. 4 canines, they will say singapal, they will say, right. So, that is known as canines. So, this canine will be broad and pointed teeth. So, it will be very pointed and this teeth help in tearing the food, okay. The next 2 canine, you will have the premolars. So, what is premolars? So, next 2 canine, you will have 2 teeth on the both sides, okay. So, 4 in the upper jaw, 4 in the lower jaw. So, totally you will have 8 premolars. So, this premolars help in crushing and chewing the food, right. So, next to the premolars, you will see the molars. So, there are nearly 6 molars in the upper jaw and 6 molars in the lower jaw. So, 3 in the right side and 3 in the left side, likewise 3 in the lower jaw and 3 in the upper, right side and the left side in the lower jaw, right. So, totally there are 12 molars. 12 molars, this molars help in chewing and grinding the food, okay. So, once you take in the food inside your mouth, so the teeth smashes the food, it grinds the food. So, this food is mixed up with the saliva. What is saliva? Saliva is the enzyme which is secreted by the salivary glands and also the tongue. The tongue, it helps in pushing the food and chews the food inside the mouth cavity, right. So, here you can see the tongue has taste buds. So, it has taste buds. Here you can see sweety taste, here salt taste and here sour taste and the back here bitter taste, okay. So, the tongue has taste buds in each places, right. So, with the help of the tongue we can speak and we can taste the food and also the tongue help in chewing, pushing the food to chew, right. So, this is about teeth and tongue, right. So, this teeth you can see molars only in the adult or in an younger child, the child will have only 8 molars, okay. When a child is reaching the adult either 18 or 19 or 20, so the 4 molars will start to grow. So, that is known as wisdom teeth, right. So, the last 4 molars, the set of molars that grow during that stage, so that is known as wisdom teeth, okay. So, this is about the teeth. So, how many sets of teeth? 2 sets of teeth, milk teeth or permanent teeth, and there are 4 types of teeth. So, each teeth help in different functions in chewing the food or tearing the food or biting the food or cutting the food or grinding the food, right. Yes. So, now let us see how the mouth, how the buccal cavity, that is the mouth, helps in preparing, producing the saliva. So, you can see here salivary glands. So, this salivary glands, you can see 3 pairs of salivary glands here, parotid gland, submandibular gland and sublingual gland. So, here you have the salivary glands. So, this salivary glands produces an enzyme called saliva. Okay. So, inside the mouth, so the mouth produces, that is the salivary glands produces an enzyme called saliva. So, this saliva has an enzyme. This is actually a juice that is produced by our mouth, okay, by the salivary glands, and this saliva has an enzyme called amylase. Amylase. This amylase is also called as tyalin. Tyalin. Okay. So, here what is the main function of this tyalin, or what is the main function of the amylase? So, it changes the starch into sugars. So, because of this, it changes the starch. Starch is nothing but the carbohydrates, right? So, starch into sugars. So, this is the main function of saliva. So, that is why when we eat food, we have to chew well. Why? Because for the production of saliva from the salivary glands, and thereby the saliva mixed with the food, and thereby it will make moist and soft, thereby we can swallow the food, right. So, this chewing of food along with the saliva is known as mastification, okay, right. So, next we will see what happens when we eat the food. So, once we eat the food, the teeth chews it, the tongue helps in turning the food, and also the food is getting ingested through the food pipe. Okay. So, here you can see the food pipe. So, here from the mouth the food is entering into the esophagus here. Okay. So, here you can see this place is known as pharynx. So, this is the opening of the food pipe. Okay. So, here the food is entering into the esophagus. So, esophagus is nothing but food pipe here. So, in the food pipe there is no digestion takes place, no digestion takes place in the food pipe. So, food pipe acts as a carrier, it takes the food from the mouth to the stomach. So, once the food reaches the stomach, inside the stomach, so the stomach produces some gastric juice which is known as pepsin. Okay. So, here you can see stomach is a bag like structure, right, is it? Yes. So, it is a bag like structure. Once the food deposited into the stomach helps in producing the gastric juice, and this gastric juice helps in the digestion of the proteins. Okay. And also the stomach produces some acid which is known as hydrochloric acid. This acid mixed with the food and helps in digestion. So, here in the stomach we can see here the stomach, in the stomach, so that stomach produces a gastric juice. So, this gastric juice is also called as pepsin. So, what is the main function of the pepsin? The pepsin changes the proteins into amino acids. So, the carbohydrates starts digesting in the mouth and the proteins start digesting in the stomach, right. So, here the pepsin changes the protein into amino acids. So, amino acids is the end that is simpler products of the proteins, right. So, partial digestion takes place in the stomach, okay, right. So, the next one that we are going to see is about small intestine, but the small intestine we will discuss about the small intestine in the second part, okay. So, till now you learnt, in the first part you learnt about what are the steps that is involved in the digestive process, right. So, first one ingestion. So, we will just recall what we discussed, okay. The first one, ingestion. Ingestion is nothing but taking the food by the organism. The next one, digestion. So, digestion is breaking down of larger substance into smaller substance. The next one, absorption. So, the absorption means the process by which the digested food is absorbed into the blood. The next one, assimilation. So, assimilation is nothing but the absorbed food, that is the absorbed nutrients are utilized by the body, using the nutrients in our body. So, that is known as assimilation. So, the next one is digestion. So, the digestion is the process where the undigested food is removed from our body, right. So, these are all the 5 steps that is involved in the process of digestion, right. And then this digestive system, right. So, we discussed about the digestive system, and this digestive system starts from the mouth till the anus, and from the mouth the food enters through our esophagus and it enters into the stomach, and thereby it reaches the small intestine, and from the small intestine it reaches the largest intestine, and the undigested food is removed through the anus, right. So, this is about the alimentary canal, and there are some organs that help in the digestive system, right. So, what are the organs? For example, salivary glands, which helps in the production of saliva, that is ptyalin, that is amylase, that changes the carbohydrate, that is starch, into maltose. Maltose is nothing but disaccharide. So, starch into sugars, right. So, maltose will be little bit sweety, and then we saw liver, that is liver and pancreas, that also helps in the digestion, right. So, we will discuss in detail about the liver and pancreas in the second part, right. So, these are the things that we discussed, and also we discussed what are the enzymes that involved in the digestion. So, salivary glands produces an enzyme called amylase, and then amylase changes the starch into sugar, and then in the stomach produces a gastric juice called pepsin, where the pepsin changes the proteins into amino acids, right. So, only we can see partial amount of digestion takes place in the stomach, right. So, in the next class we will discuss about the small intestine, large intestine, and also the organs that helps in digestion, about liver and pancreas, right. Hope this class will be very informative for you, and when you study about the digestive system, go through the enzymes, because in an higher studies, when you go to higher classes, you will study in detail about the enzymes, right. So, this is the basic about the stomach and the salivary glands. So, thank you children for watching. Have a good day.